Hi everyone, hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. So as everyone knows, the topic of this week's myth is spanking. It took me a while to find a research article because most people are just reading about the benefits or the consequences of spanking on their children, but I finally found one. The title is called Spanking and Child Development During the First 5 Years of Life. It was published in 2012, and the journal name was Child Development. And the researchers' names were Catherine, Jack, Andrea Grossmick, don't know if I said that correctly, and Lawrence Berger. From what I understood from reading this research article was that their research question or hypothesis was, how does spanking affect a child's development during the beginning years of their life? And they also wanted to determine if spanking is an appropriate form of corporate punishment. If you guys don't know what corporate punishment is, it's basically used to inflict pain, and its main purpose is to correct their child's behavior so that they know what's right from wrong. And spanking is the most commonly used form of corporal punishment. So in this study, they did a total of 4,898 children. And they were born between the years of 1998 and 2000. And this was taking place in 20 different U.S. cities around the United States. And they chose to sample children that were born to unmarried parents, which resulted in a larger number of low-income households and Black or Hispanic children mostly. They collected their data by interviewing the families face-to-face when the child was born or near when they were born. And then they called them after their first, third, and 5-year birthdays. And they would take this information that they would get over the phone call or that they had over their first, third, and 5th birthdays, and they would basically analyze what it meant in terms of the child's cognitive development and their aggressive behaviors. The findings showed that after the interviews, about 16% of mothers had reported that she or someone else in the household had spanked their children their child at least once or twice in the past month. And in this study, it showed that spanking was least common at age 1 at about 6%, and went all the way up to 56% at age 3, and it went down just a little bit to about 51% at age 5. Spanking can lead a child to feel hostile, which can lead them to express feelings of loss and abandonment and aggressive behaviors. Also, due to their parents modeling this aggressive behavior, they are more likely to adopt this behavior just because they think that it's socially acceptable because their parents were doing it. Additionally, if it also said that due to these children feeling this ongoing stress of being spanked, their cognitive skills began to decrease as they got older. It also was concluded that if a child was spanked at age 1, they were continually spanked throughout the next couple of years of their lives, and this caused them to have greater behavior problems at age 3, and then if they were spanked at age 3, the same for age 5, saying that they would have greater behavior problems. A limitation that I saw in the study was that they looked at children from birth to age 5, but I would have thought that it would have been more beneficial if they would have looked at the child's cognitive and aggressive behaviors until they were at least a teenager, because I think that most teenagers show these aggressive behaviors or these cognitive troubles when they begin to go to school and when they start to get their friend groups and everything, when they're not just at home. And in the study itself, it didn't talk about any steps or directions that they were going to be taking in the future. This topic relates to our class because this article talks about how corporal punishment, as well as the reading that we were supposed to do this week, has an impact on our development, especially our chemical, functional, and structural changes in the brain. It also relates because it brings in the idea that spanking is not always the best type of punishment, and this ties into the anti-corporal punishment view that's in the reading, because it says that this type of punishment has long and short-term consequences, such as the anger and the cognitive problems that could arise if a child is continually spanked when they were younger. My take on this article is that it was very interesting to read and also very informative, because I wasn't spanked when I was younger, but it was interesting to hear that over half of the parents said that they had spanked their children, especially at the age 3. I also think that there are better ways to discipline your child, because as the study stated, the children look up to their parents. So if the parents exemplify this anger and aggression, then it is more likely that they will, because they think it is acceptable and okay. One question that I had is that for all the families that they interviewed, why didn't they interview all types of family households instead of just the single family households or the unmarried? Because it would have given a better representation of what spanking does to a child. Because there are so many different things and a lot of other stressors that can be involved if you are just in a single family household. So these other stressors can lead to their behavior and cognitive changes as well. So it would have been more beneficial for the study to show their aggression and their cognitive changes if they would have done a wider age range and different type of households. So that's all I have for you guys. Hope everyone's doing well, and yeah.